Good day to everyone. I'm Ma'am Jovi. In this video, I am going to discuss the function of for loop in Java. Loops in Java. In programming languages, loop is a feature which facilitates the execution of a set of instructions, functions repeatedly while some condition evaluates to true. Okay, the while loop. The while loop is used to iterate a part of the program several times if the number of iteration is not fixed. It is not it is rather recommended to use while loop. Okay. The next one, the for loop. The Java for loop is used to iterate a part of the program several times if the number of iteration is fixed. Take note, it is fixed. It is recommended to use for loop. And lastly, the Java do while loop is used to iterate a part of the program several times if the number of iteration is not fixed and you must have to execute the loop at least once. Here in the while loop, the loop will execute at least once. Okay? The for statement. Okay. The for statement provides a compact way to iterate over a range of values. Programmers often refer to it as the for loop because of the way in which it repeatedly loops until a particular condition is satisfied. The general form of a for statement can be expressed as follows. That's one. Okay. We have here the keyword for, and then inside the parentheses, we have initialization, condition, increment, decrement. And then open curly brace, close curly brace, statement or statement. Okay. What is initialization? Okay. The initialization expression initializes the loop. It is executed once as the loop begins, followed by a condition. So what's a condition? The condition, okay, is an expression. Once the condition is true, the loop will iterate. However, if the result of the expression is false, the loop will terminate. Next, we have the increment decrement expression is evoked or called after each iteration through the loop. It is perfectly acceptable for this expression to increment or decrement a value. This one will depend on the output if you want to output an incrementing value or decrementing value. If you want incrementing value, use increment. If you want decrementing value, we use decrement. Okay, let's take a look at this one. So, here is the keyword for, followed by the initialization. Okay, this is the initialization part. I'll be putting a green line, initialization part. So, the value of I is set to 0. Next, for the condition part, this one, I is less than 5. Okay, separated by a semicolon. And lastly, the increment or decrement part is this one, I plus plus. And then between the curly braces, it is where we're going to encode the statement or statements. Then the code block. This is called code block. Okay, this is the syntax of a for loop statement. So it has three parts. It has initialization, condition, and then the increment and decrement. Okay, the for loop will iterate until the condition is true. However, if the result of the condition or expression is false, the loop will terminate. Okay, I am now going to demonstrate how to use for loop in Java. I have here a class named for loop demo. What it does is it displays only the text for loop when we run the program. Okay, here let's hit the enter key. So as demonstrated a while ago, we will be using the keyword for, and then we're going to the first part is the initialization. So I have here, okay, int I is equal to 0, I is less than 5, and then I plus plus, open curly brace, close curly brace. Okay. Between the curly braces, this is called the code block. Anong tawag dito? This is called code block. Okay, it's called the code block. And then it is where we are going to print the statement. Let's say, for example, here, okay, I am going to display for loop 5 times. So I will cut this one and display it here. Cut, put it here. Okay, what the program does is that it displays the output uh, for loop 5 times. Okay, let's check if it is correct. So let's recompile it and then let's run. There you go. Okay, for loop. Yan. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Okay, I will explain this later on. But before that, I am going to display the value of I. What will I do is that I will be concatenating here. Okay, I will display first the value of I. So let's call the variable itself I plus. Okay, what I did is I concatenate, dinugtong, i-join, using the plus sign. Okay, let's run again the program. There you go. Okay, I wasn't able to put to add or include space. So 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's check. So the initialization part here is, I'll be putting a comment, this one. And here, initialization. And then semicolon, the I is less than 5. This is the condition. Okay. And then the I plus plus, it's an increment. Okay. Increment. This could be decrement. Depends on the programmer. Are you going to produce decrementing value or incrementing value? Okay. So this is how the for loop statement works. So as stated, okay, I have here the variable I set to 0. Okay, so it will be executed like this from left to right. So the compiler rather will gonna interpret the source code from left to right and from top to bottom. Okay, to continue, let's say we want to display the numbers 1 to 20. Okay, so I'm going to customize this one. Instead of 0, I'll put is 1, and then I is less than or equal to 20. Okay, so I will save, and then let's compile, and then let's run the program. Okay, so it's 1 is equals to 20. So let's just modify again, and I'll put the value of I is, I will concatenate. The value, the value, the value of I is, okay. Plus, let's concatenate, save.
Okay, let's run the program. And okay, if you want to display that text, the value of, you just add it here. The value of I is, so the value of I, that is a string constant or string literal, joined with the variable I, we concatenate it or we joined it. If it's sa Tagalog, idinugtong natin, kaya that's the output. Okay? Okay, to continue, what we're going to do is to create a decrementing output instead of incrementing output using for loops. So I will initialize the value of I into 10. So it starts from 10, and this one will become, if I want 10 iterations, so this is set into 10 is greater, it will become greater than or equal to 1, and this will become decrementing operator. Yeah, minus minus. Okay, let's save and rerun the program. Let's compile and then run. There you go. So it displays the output decrementing from 10 to 1. Okay, if you don't want the text, of course, what you're gonna do is to delete this one. Ayan, let's save and rerun the program. Oh, what's the answer? What's the output rather? Yeah, 1098765432 I hope this video clarifies your understanding on how you are going to use for loop to produce incrementing output or decrementing output. As mentioned a while ago in my presentation, if you want a fixed iteration, you know already, you want to iterate 5 times, 10 times, you will be using for loop. If this video helps you, please click like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. See ya!